Damn it! Zaj! Holding my wounded left shoulder, dragging Weiss behind me in my left hand, I escaped to the back of the church. Earlier, when I was cornered on the edge of the roof, the bullet he fired had left a deep wound in my shoulder. You could say it was lucky that he hadn't hit my right arm, but I'd need both hands to use the dual snake sword effectively. Yeah, that's true. I'm safe here for the moment, but I don't think he'll just let me escape with my arm like this. Nash! 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 Dominguez? Well, it's been a while since we've seen you. It was Dominguez, and in his talons he was carrying the cameo that Julie always wears. The fact that Dominguez is bringing it means that Lena has been successful in rescuing Julie. I hold the cameo sent by my dependable companion tightly. My, what are you doing in a place like this? Trying to run away? I'm not going anywhere. Now that I've seen this, I hold out Julie's cameo in front of Zaj. That's Julie's. How? It's thanks to my dependable It's thanks to my dependable companion. Here I come, Zaj. Now we're on even terms. Fine then. I was just thinking that there's no flavor to shooting someone who can't resist. Don't try to bluff, Zaj. The real match starts now. Oh yeah, here we go. I gathered my strength and stood up. Thunder rolled in the sky above the decayed cemetery where Zaj and I stood facing each other, about 20 paces apart. Zaj looked at my raised hand holding Schwarz. Realizing that my left arm was unusable, he smiled happily. Do you really think you can win against me in that state? I guess we'll have to see. Not getting any wiser at the end, are you? If I were in your position, I'd easily obtain a much higher status. I guess so, but that's not my life. Is that so? I guess a fool's life suits you. Zaj fired a shot with his gun. I flick my right wrist, holding Schwarz, but pain runs from my left shoulder and brings me to one knee. It's just as he said. Zaj approaches me slowly. Does he think I don't have the strength to resist anymore? Step by step, slowly coming forward, with a cruel smile on his face. Zaj, what's with that smile? Are you unable to hide your true nature, standing in front of me on the verge of death? I wonder. The moment you're buried, my ambition will be realized. Indeed, there is no more need to hide it. That golden hair of yours. Every time I see that proof of harmony and first-class citizenship, my body rages with jealousy. What? Did you know there was a country called Sanadia on the outskirts to the west of Harmonia? That's the name of the country that was conquered by Harmonia 30 years ago. I was born in that country. Oh. By custom, only pure Harmonians can be first-class citizens. But those from countries who swear allegiance to Harmonia become second-class citizens. Then there's those who resist Harmonia's conquest. The people from those countries become third-class citizens when they're defeated. A child born in a country conquered by Harmonia is sent to a first-class family in Crystal Valley, in accordance with their assimilation policy. You should know about this. The Latke house should also have had a slave like that. Right? Third-class citizens from the savage tribes of the grasslands and similar, treated no better than animals. Not even seen as human. was a daily humiliation. From the moment the sorrow of defeat is born, you taste it fully. I resented myself for not being Harmonian. Eventually, when I was 13, I returned to Sonadia. Everyone I met there, my friends, everybody, had become Harmonian sympathizers. Even though they looked like Sonadians, they had given their hearts away and became Harmonian slaves. They'd go on to teach other Sonadians. In an ugly, ruthless way, it's perfect. They'd wag their tails for Harmonia, and they didn't even realize it. Because that's what they desired. But I was different. And those guys were different. I went back to Harmonia to knock on the doors to the Howling Voice Guild. Even though I was too old, I was given a test to be given the chance to be accepted as a child of the guild. It was a grueling test of athletic ability, intelligence, fitness, everything, and I survived. The guild is the only place in Harmonia where your origin doesn't matter, where even third-class citizens can rise. And then, I reached the final ordeal. A test of loyalty to the guild. The test is to kill your parents, the people who gave you your warm childhood memories. My God. Do you think that's where my resentment comes from? Not at all. Nothing could be further from my mind. An ordeal like that was nothing. Could you do it? It was simple. It took just one throw of the knives in the middle of their foreheads, and with that, I was allowed to try and become a gunner. For the first time, I was at the point of 0. Finally, I was standing at the starting point. Nash, you were born with... No. When you were born, you were given everything. But I'm aiming for a lot more than that. The Ladkey House, even you and Julie, are nothing but stepping stones. The successful destruction of the Ladkey House and the People's Faction will grant me a position as Elder. And eventually, I will hold the real power of the guild, have control of that fearsome shadow that is the backbone of Harmonia. In that Harmonia, I will take away everything from Harmonians like you. I will humiliate them all. I will consume everything. That's my revenge. No, it's my ambition. Do you understand, Nash? My ambition will consume you and Julie. Wow, that is a lot to take in. Jeez. I had listened to Zaj's confession in silence, my anger seething, not even caring about the cold rain that was pouring down. You did this to my family just for that? Just for that? I guess you would say that. What I desire, you had bestowed to you from birth. You had power from the moment you were born, without any struggle, effort, or need for it. You were born into privilege. You couldn't understand my suffering. In short, you and I are from different worlds, just to say the least. Zaj, we've talked too much. I have you to thank for this wound from that night. Nash, this is the last time. Right, no turning back. Once again, with this hand. Very well. So, try to steal it from me. This power that I won through the shedding of much blood. Zaj holds the gun in his right hand, and the sword in his left. I only have Schwarz poised in my right hand, in preparation for the attack. Cold rain fell on us. Wind as strong as during a storm ruffled our hair. I breathe slowly and focus entirely on Zaj. Zaj seems to be doing the same. This game will be decided by just one moment. There's no time for regrets, because this is a Howling Voice Guild duel. As lightning struck the spire of the church, Zaj made his move. Die, Nash! Zaj's two guns fire almost simultaneously. At the same moment, I jumped back and swung Schwarz to knock the bullets down. This exchange of attack and defense continued for a while. You just don't know when to give up! Neither do you. Well then, how about this? A heavier than expected blow at Schwarz from his sword made me lose my balance. A bullet was fired from the handle of the sword, but I repelled it in the nick of time. A smile spread on Zaj's lips. Got you. The tip of his sword was pointed at me, and Zaj fired. Shit, it was a trick. The blade came as quick as a lightning bolt, trying to knock mine off. As soon as I realized, I threw Schwarz without hesitation. As a result, I was now as good as unarmed, with Zaj getting closer. Now, this is the end. You shouldn't use such cheesy one-liners. Even when you say it's the end, it never is. It's true. Totally true. At the same time as Zaj was about to pull the trigger, the ultra-fine wire stretching from my right hand was brought back. What? Schwarz had been discarded, but behind Zaj it started to move as if by magic. Manipulated by the wire, Schwarz was coming at Zaj's back. Unprepared as he was, Zaj lost his balance, attempting to stop Schwarz. This is my chance. Probably the last one. Zaj! Zaj stared in astonishment at the sword that pierced his chest. We both tried to trick the other, but I was one step ahead. I had dodged the bullet, but the final blow hadn't come from Schwarz that I threw from my right hand, but from Weiss in my left hand. The blood flow had been restored to my injured left shoulder. But I had been hiding it, just for this moment. For this final blow. Zaj hadn't let down his guard until the very last minute. When a magician shows you his right hand, you shouldn't ignore his left, Zaj. Very good advice. You lose. I pulled out the sword that had pierced Zaj. Zaj's body slowly lost its strength and fell towards me. I win. It seems that way. Nash, it's my loss. In the end, I couldn't win. Zaj, why did you show up now? You could have had the power you wanted. Why would you risk all this? Did you hate me that much? Did you want to see me suffer? Zaj, that night 3 years ago, if I hadn't cut you, would you and Julie... It's a foolish question. For my ambition, to love a woman is nothing but a waste. After all love is false. The next morning, when I reached the cemetery, the rain had completely stopped. As the sun rose, illuminating the gloomy graveyard, the sounds of birds filled the decayed garden of the church as they merrily pecked at nuts. Just like before my life-or-death duel with Zaj, it all felt unreal. The abominable past and present. As yesterday's rain was soaked up by the ground, I thought about all the things that had happened with Zaj. As I watched the rising sun, it suddenly struck me, the past hasn't changed. Has anything really changed with this fight? Even with Zaj gone, the Latke family won't be restored. My parents. Julie's heart. I look away from the sunrise and down to the cemetery as I recall Zaj's words last night. Power. In order to survive, power is certainly a necessity. But if all that remains is your own body, is there really any point? Even after much thought, I still don't know. Zaj and I may have been from different worlds, but we're still human. A familiar voice from the entrance of the cemetery drew me out of my pensive state. Hey, Lena. Nash. You, huh? I've been causing trouble. Then Zaj is... Both him and his ambitions have been put to rest. Julie has been moved to a safe place. Are you going to see her now? Yeah. Say, this cameo. Yeah, Julie entrusted it to me. It seems Dominguez did his job well. Yeah, he always does his job flawlessly. I see. That's good. I gave this cameo to Julie when she was a child. It has a secret. There's room for a portrait inside. She always used to keep a portrait of the person that was most important to her inside it. Me. That's... But now it's empty. There's no portrait of anyone. How sad. Lena, that man, he will ask for something in the future. But between now and then, it seems I have some growing up to do. I'm still acting like a child. Nash, what are you saying? My hands are not only steeped in the things I learned at the guild, but in the blood of many people. Twice in the blood of the man Julie loved. I ran away from Crystal Valley once because I couldn't endure that. But, Nash, you've come back. Am I wrong? Crystal Valley is no longer my home. The Latke family is gone. But Julie is waiting for you. Nash! Don't hesitate! Right now, I'm not eligible to meet her. How could a killer offer any comfort to anyone? Selfish. You're just being selfish. About Julie's feelings. You're... Behind Lena, I saw a figure taking out a gun. Lena, don't move! What? Zaj must still have henchmen. Wait, you raised your hand to throw a knife, Nash. Nash? Nash? Nash! Where did you go? I won't let you do this! Nash! So, take care of Julie. With those words, I entrusted her to Lena, and left that place behind. Nash! 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 Well, there you go. Volume 2. Okay, so... At least we get a credit sequence now. So overall, I thought that was a pretty good ending. It really fit for Nash's character. So he basically, he doesn't feel like he's worthy to be around his sister. So he's gone off to pursue other agendas, and I guess that's kind of where he picks up in Suikoden 3, which actually makes sense. It puts a lot of pieces together. So that's pretty interesting. So overall, this whole series, Volume 1 and Volume 2, I highly enjoyed. You know, I really enjoyed the plot lines. And it kind of put stuff together in between Suikoden 2 and 3. So as I understand it, yeah, basically this game came out before Suikoden 3 did. And part of it, I believe, was kind of a way to kind of introduce you to, like, the world of Suikoden 3, like the grasslands, things like that. So I think that was pretty cool. And also, as I understand it, like the developers of this game are not the same developers that worked on Suikoden 1 and 2, but they actually came together with the developers of the original Suikodens for Suikoden 4 and 5. I believe that's right. So that's interesting to note. But yeah. So there you go, and yeah, they obviously didn't translate the credits, which I don't know if they could have. I don't know, could they have? I don't know, but they didn't, which is fine by me, you know. It's not a big deal, but yeah. So overall, this was definitely enjoyable. I'm glad I was able to do it, and hopefully, this is actually the last Suikoden game that I can technically LP until I get a capture card and I can do Suikoden 3. So that's kind of sad, but I was glad I was able to do this, and I hope you all enjoyed it. I certainly did. And I would definitely recommend trying this out because, you know, if you couldn't tell, there are like different ways to go, you know, different choices. So doing multiple playthroughs is always a fun idea. So there's definitely replay value. I may end up going back and giving Volume 1 and Volume 2 more playthroughs, and try different stuff and see what happens, you know, because that's kind of the fun of it. The fun of multi-choices and whatnot. Hey, there's some English, kind of. DR movie. So yeah, overall, I would definitely suggest you try this for yourself, you know? See just where you end up going, what choices you end up making. It's, good times will be had, I'm sure. Yeah, honestly, one of the best parts about this game is the soundtrack is brilliant. If you couldn't tell, I mean, it is really good. I've been listening to the soundtrack to both Volume 1 and Volume 2, like, long before the English patches were ever made. So it was kind of interesting. I was already very familiar with the music. Of course, a lot of it is like remixed songs from Suikoden 1 and 2, which is cool. I think they were really well done. I would highly recommend giving the soundtrack a listen to if you haven't already. Highly recommend it. But there you go. That's Suikogaiden Volume 2. Finished. Finned. There you go. Oh, hey, there we go. Get some project credits. And alright. What's going on now? Hey, are you sure you just want to ride to the next village? I can take you all the way to your destination if you want. It's perfectly alright. We'll unload in the next village so the horse won't be tired. The next village is fine. I'm not in any rush. Alright then. By the way, where are you from? I'm from the east. Are you running from some women? That's the feeling you give off. Very perceptive of you. Yeah, it's something like that. I gave you some good advice, friend. You listening? When a woman is angry with you, don't argue with her. Just close your eyes, plug your ears, and wait for the storm to pass. Then you cool the remaining heat by coming home with flowers and treats. That's the trick. I see. I'll try that next time. Yeah, it'll be fine. Is it okay if I take a little nap? Sure. I'll let you know when we arrive. Thanks. I'm just a little tired. For a number of reasons. Well, you have been through a lot. In that case, get some rest. There's still a long way to go before the next village. You have plenty of time. Yeah. The end. Alright. Good stuff. Alright, so we'll go ahead and save that data. Data. You know what I'm saying. Alright, so there you go. That is Suikogaiden Volume 2, Duel at Crystal Valley. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did, and guess we could just check special real quick.